Hello again. I'm Tag,
And I'm B.
and this is Life Done Free. I thought today that I would put out a video and introduce you to my beautiful bride. And, my wife is my rock and, completely the reason why I do half the things that we do. And we're going to get to that. But first, I thought that I would take a moment to say thank you. We have had on the last video that we put out over 500 subscribers, 1,100 people took time out of their busy day, to watch the video and to watch the story, and, over 500 comments. And I can't tell you how surprising it was to me. I just can't even tell you. I'm a little bit kind of, overwhelmed in it a little bit. We had just comment after comment after comment about, encouraging and you guys are doing the right thing and those kind of things. So I cannot tell you how thankful we were and how much you guys motivate me. I just can't even tell you. I don't feel quite as alone in the journey. You got anything you want to say about that?
I would like to say thank you as well. It was a absolute shock going to bed one night and having just a couple of people on our page, and then waking up and it was a shock. Thank you.
One other special note, I really want to reach out to Danny and Wanda. They didn't have to do that, and it was completely surprising to us, and I didn't even see it coming. And there's some crazy things in life. You can tell the character of a man or a character of a woman by how they treat the lady at the drive-thru at McDonald's, or how they treat the guy in the lumber yard when they're having a busy day and they're in a hurry. And kindness breeds kindness. And I just want Danny and Wanda to know that I will not forget. And just a complete shock. Danny had made the statement in the video that he couldn't wait to see my facial expressions. And man, we went to bed and I woke up and I told my wife, I said, "What the hell is going on? This has got to be wrong." And so my facial expression, Danny was like, "What?" Just complete disbelief. And I just can't say enough kind things and nice things. And thank you, will just never be enough.
Very heartwarming. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, so today I thought again we'd take some time and we would introduce my beautiful bride. So everybody, this is my beautiful bride, B. I can't tell you how lucky I am to be in the position that I'm in, that I get support no matter where I go. She actually kind of plays dirty pool. A lot of times you'll have a spouse that'll, you head out the door and they're complaining because you're not home or whatever it is. My wife likes to say things like, "Don't let me down today." And it's, it's kind of dirty pool, but I'll tell you, all of these adventures, and, I absolutely have my partner in crime, and I couldn't imagine trying to go through, this life, or really any life, without my wife. We talked in the first video about how I got myself in a position to where I had to follow my instincts and take a stand. But, that stand, wasn't mine alone. And so I thought I'd just let Bethany talk a little bit about when I came home that day and I said, "Hey, babe, this is what's going on. The company's going to do this. They're going to mandate this. I'm not going to play ball. I'm going to take a stand, and I'm probably going to lose my career, not just of 25 years, but I'm also going to lose the majority of our income that comes in." And so, B, how'd you feel about that?
Well, my husband has always been the breadwinner in our house. And it was scary to think, where are we going to pay our mortgage from next month? We had a grid tied house, and it was convenient to have the the thermostat. You just touch it up or down depending upon your comfort level. And I didn't realize how much work that would actually be, coming to an off-grid house. This was always our goal, to be off-grid, but it wasn't our goal to be off-grid today. We do a lot of things different today than we did 6 months ago. Dinners look different. Heating the house looks different. Our animals are different. We
Yeah, so babe, when all that was going on, and you knew that we were finally going to make the jump, I'm imagining it was kind of exciting too, right?
Yes, I had to have a lot of faith, first of all. I'm somewhat religious. I have a mustard seed of faith that um, it it will be okay. And no matter what our journey holds, in the end we are going to be okay.
Yeah.
And
So you talked a little bit about how life changed. So, and I tell people all the time who talk to me about whether it's power. Man, it's so cool, Tag. You get free power. No, I don't. No, I don't. I got prepaid power. Let's not confuse things. But so in my life, it went from I don't have all these people behind the electrical switch making sure the electricity comes on. I got to do that for myself, and I'm the plumber, and I'm the electrician, and I take care of the water and all of those things. But I'm not the only one that sacrificed through all of this, and there's a lot of parts of life that have changed, and so babe, talk a little bit about how your life has changed living off grid. Going from the coach purse to the muck boots.
right, yes, and that was a big difference. I now get up 3 times a night to make sure that the fire's going. It's like having a newborn in the house. Um, Growing up, my parents, we had wood burning stoves, but my father was the one who tended that. I now know the difference between hedge and oak wood, and what do I need to prepare a good fire to cook on. I have to manage my electricity now. I get up in the morning and I look to see how much I have, how much we use through the night. Do I have enough for laundry or vacuum or even iron? To run the iron is 1700 watts. Things I didn't pay attention to in my before life, because it just was a plug in, a click of a switch, and now it's no longer that way. I have to manage my animals differently, and everything that I do now, I have to think before I do it, because I will pay a price in the end if I don't. I don't want to run out of electricity.
Yeah. So you talked about how this was always part of our plan, and it was. We actually started this journey 15 years ago. For us, it began more of a prepping thing, and just, taking care of building a pantry, making sure that, we were, paid our bills and, had a little extra money and those kind of things. And so it's totally grown from there. But talk a little bit about why homesteading was attractive to you.
One of the things that I was so excited about was growing my own food, or raising my own food, knowing where it comes from. The nutrient density of the food that we're getting from the grocery store and where it's coming from. I would like to have some control, take that control back, and be able to grow what I eat. And the animals that I'm consuming, I want to make sure that they're raised appropriately and in a loving fashion, and they wander around the farm just on their own, and they're not cooped up. And
Yeah, what's interesting about that, babe, is that we talk all the time about living free, and the whole purpose of us even doing this channel is to challenge living free. And there's energy independence, and there's water independence, and there's financial independence, and there's all of these things. But the one, in my opinion, that's the hardest to get to is food independence. The ability to grow all of your own food and to be able to raise it all, to me, is the most monumental task of all of them. And so I'm sure that for you, tracking what goes into your family's body, tracking the way we eat, tracking all of those things can be probably stressful.
A lot of work, right? And we like to eat, so it's a big chore.
Yeah. I guess finally, before we get on with the video, if there's other people out there, and we got a lot of comments and people who were kind of in the same boat, and even people who didn't know what to do next. We got a lot of these types of comments, and it again was very inspiring to me. But I guess, Bethany, is there anything out there? Would you give advice to someone who was in the same spot we were in, or people who are trying to homestead or are having a hard time making it work? And because, as you mentioned, it's a whole lot of work. What advice would you give someone who's beginning?
I would say start slow. Mm-hmm. When we bought this property, it was just a blank slate, and it could have been overwhelming. We decided to start small. We cleared a little bit of ground and we built a small building, I consider it small. What was it, 20 by
30.
30? Not a big enough house to live in. When you take most of it and put a skid loader in it. But start small and work your way from there. I think that our needs have changed once we got here. The amount of food that we need to grow in order to be food independent, it's quite an eye-opener. So if you start small, it will not be as overwhelming, I think. And start with a couple chickens.
Yeah.
And then get 50.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. For me, I think the advice that I would give people is put one foot in front of the other. Get up today and say, hey, I'm going to be freer today than I was yesterday. Do something. Not everybody has the same resources. Not everybody has the same, things in their life, but there are things that you can do every single day. And, to get yourself in a position to be more free. In the end, to me, freedom, what it really is it allows you choices. Mm-hmm. And the freer I am, the more choices I have, the more things I can withstand, and the less interruption other people can cause into my life. And so, for that, in order to live free, just put one foot in front of the other and just keep going. Reach out to people who will listen to you, who will talk to you, and who will encourage you. Surround yourself with people who make you better, and don't spend a second of your time with people who don't. Yeah, and if you do that, you're going to be just fine. I kind of thought for the rest of this video, again, from Danny and Wanda, and again, I can't tell you guys how thankful I am. I mean, it's just amazing. But there was some really great comments that went through the video, and I thought we would just take a minute and kind of talk about the 6 or 7 of them, and just kind of discuss it a little bit. And so I guess without further ado. Okay, so Champagne said, "Love your story. I hear you about the corporate world. I was in a similar situation last year, and that's when I finally made the effort to find my home. We'll be moving in April, and I'm still with the company, but know that I'm replaceable at any moment. We'll have a backyard homestead with a giant garden, but no animals since I have a business selling my art. My fallback if and when I lose my job. Anywho, love the video. Can't wait to see what y'all are doing. And by the way, Danny and Wanda from Deep South sent me your way." I think this is an absolute great comment. The situation that I found myself in was super, super hard. And Champagne, I'm sure it was, super hard for you too, but you're making steps. You're taking those steps, one step forward, one step forward, one step forward. I love the idea that you got a side business, selling your art. I'd love to see some of it. Feel free, to send it to me. But again, I think this just comes down into taking one step forward. Mother?
Yes.
Yeah, you agree?
Yes.
Fat Boys Farm said, "Hi, Tag. I too was forced into early retirement after 41 years in healthcare. 41 years. It's amazing how disposable people can be." Back to Champagne's comment. "Luckily for me, it worked out well," he said, "and I wish the same results for you. P.S. Danny and Wanda sent me, and I look forward to your future videos. And wow, you have got it together to the point of total self-reliance. Good for you." Yeah, man, what a story this is. We are not 100% self-reliant, and what's so crazy about freedom is, as you begin to make these steps and, you take care of electricity and you take care of all of these things, my mind often goes to the things we're not taking care of. And, complete self-sufficiency to me means that I'm building my own, oil filters for the Kubota or for the, the machinery. So we're a long ways from self-sufficiency, but we are definitely striving, and I really appreciate that, that comment.
Yeah, I was thinking we're still using gasoline.
Right. Not totally there. Vintage Living Homestead said, "Great intro video, Tag. I was sent by Deep South. I'm in a similar situation. I was already homesteading, but had to leave my job in the summer of 2020 because of similar circumstances, where I would not give in on my beliefs, which forced me into a full-time homesteading with no income. I'm trying to expand on my homestead and open my own business, but it's barely staying afloat. So I worked with what I have until I have no more. I can't wait to see more of your videos, and I can definitely use the words of inspiration." Vintage, let me tell you something. You're doing it. You're doing it. Put your next foot forward. You're absolutely doing it, and you're better off than so many more people. Follow those dreams, whatever that business is, and, feel free to send me an email, and if I can help in any way, I absolutely will. This is a department I know a whole bunch about, and you inspire me, You absolutely inspire me. You are doing it. So I applaud you. I mean, I just can't say enough.
That's where the faith comes in. I
Yeah.
know exactly what that feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, I really, really like this comment. Chris said, "Hey, Tag, kudos to you for standing up for your beliefs. I've been in a similar boat, re the politics of being in management and leadership and doing what you believe versus what's being pushed. Hold the line. By the way, Danny and Wanda sent me." Yeah, this is, boy, Chris, I'm going to tell you, I relate more than you know. I've spent many hours in a room just trying to understand what was right. And, what do you do? I mean, you're in such a horrible spot. How do I continue to pay the bills if I stand up and say no? And health insurance and, just all of these crazy things that go on. But what I can tell you is that at the end of the day, all we are is who we are. And if I'm willing to compromise on those tiny, small beliefs, then I really didn't amount to much. And so, Chris, I applaud you again, bud, and you keep doing it. And if you need help or you need words of encouragement or you want to visit, you just reach out to me and we'll absolutely talk because, you and I can definitely bond on that level.
And hold the line.
Hold the line. Right. Absolutely love that. Hold the line. Angelina said it would be, let me see here. I would definitely be interested in hearing more about planning and starting the module concepts, such as what you mentioned in your video. I would venture to say that most of us don't have the resources to reach out as far as you, but the modular concept could maybe make it more achievable. By the way, Danny and Wanda sent me. This is an interesting topic, and I'll do a whole video on this. There's an art to building it module, and there's things you have to do, like making sure that, your roof's high enough that you can attach to the side, your water lines are sitting where they need to be, and all of these things. We built it modular for a different reason. I built it because you never know what's going on in the world. And for us, originally Pod 1 was just going to be a room where we could just stay a little bit while we worked out at the farm. So Pod 1 had the kitchen in it. It had, the utility room in it. It had 2 bedrooms in it and a bathroom. That was it. And, we were going to come out here and stay weekends and those kind of things, but life kind of changed. And, we never spent very many weekends out here as we continued on. I built pod number 2, which attached to the side, and that was really a living room. Pod number 3, we added the office that we're sitting in right here. We added another bedroom, a laundry room, another bathroom. And pod number 4, which I haven't built yet, I have the footings in, but I'll get working on that this spring, will ultimately be our master bedroom. But I really like building in pods. It's not that hard to do if you understand some basic concepts. And so we'll definitely do that video. One other thing I also want to mention is, the statement, I would venture to say that most don't have the resources to reach as far as you did. What a lot of people don't know is it took a lot of resources to do this. But I'm going to tell you, we saved our money for a long, long time. We didn't take vacations. We didn't go see the movie. The last movie that I seen in a movie theater was 300.
300.
I mean, it's been a long time. So we just put our priorities in different places and said, hey, this is what we're going to go do. We're going to go achieve this. And so that's how we did it. Now, not to say that, there are people who just can't do it and don't have it, but, start a business. There are things out there that will help you make that journey. And I absolutely applaud this statement, and we'll certainly do a video. Kumar said, what an inspirational video. I watched this again and again multiple times since I am looking for about 5 acres of land. I'm not going to mention the place, to start a homestead. Please let me know if anyone is interested in selling a piece of their acreage. This would be another really good video, Kumar, is that we could talk a little bit about how we found our land. Because my land was never listed. It wasn't on a realtor. It wasn't on, I had to do a little bit of groundwork in order to find it. But, when I found it, I got a great deal on it. And, we paid cash and that was that. So we'll definitely produce a video that talked a little bit about how we found our land. 2 more. Terry says, thank you for your integrity and commitment to freedom. I too, with God's grace, am in constant growth towards those values. To unhook from the matrix, I need to identify it. Stepping beyond its confines is the spiritual journey of life well lived. Looking forward to sharing with you all. I love this comment. To be able to make the stand and be able to drive forward and to be able to hold to your morals takes a lot of spiritual faith. And you got to just have something in you that say it's going to be okay, that you'll figure it out. And, Terry, I'd love to hear more from you. And I really like how deep that comment is, and which is why I put it on the list. Last one is from the Forbidden Tree, and it says, welcome. Love your intro video. So inspiring. Dan and Wanda sent me. Looking forward to learning more just how to do life done free. I said this earlier, and it really is about, sitting down and just putting one step forward. For us, I spent a lot of time doing what was called a threat and needs assessment. And, I could do a whole video on this, but, sat down and what am I worried about? Why am I homesteading? Why do I want to go down this journey? Right? And then what needs do I have in order to be able to achieve that? And so, for me, it started with buying land, and I looked at population, and I looked at all of the things around me, and, whether it was, nuclear power plants or fault lines or whatever it was, and just created that needs list. And interestingly enough, if done correctly, it will really hone you into a block. I got down to about a 200-mile radius and said, this is where I want to homestead. And you can do the exact same thing, and maybe I should post a video on doing a threat assessment. Once I located that area, then we started talking about needs. How much I needed water, or what were the things that we needed out of a piece of land. What resources did we need to have in order to be able to do it? But it was a really great experiment, and kind of surprising, the outcome for me by the time I went all the way through it. But I challenge you, Forbidden Tree, to go live free and to go push those boundaries. And again, if I can be a help in any way, I certainly will. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate all the comments. This wasn't a video that I had intended to do, but, with the kindness that Danny and Wanda showed, and the kindness that all of you and all of the comments, I couldn't help but just reach out and again, tell you from the bottom of my heart, thank you. It was just absolutely inspirational. I'm still, kind of in awe to it. But I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to live it every single day, and I'm going to show you guys I'm living it every single day, and I am committed to this process. I'm committed to what we're doing, and I'm going to challenge every one of you to go out there and live free. Do not give an inch, and you hold the line. Tag out.
Be out.
Yep. See you guys.